If you are considering leaving your partner, or you think that your partner is about to leave you, listen to the words I'm about to say. Also, if you received this from somebody, you need to bookmark, save, take notes on everything I'm about to tell you. I am 5 years post-divorce and I'm remarried. I have a very good relationship with my husband. We have a new daughter together. We're a blended family. I have read over 50-something books on marriage, divorce, attachment theory, all the things, have spent literally tens of thousands of dollars in therapy. And I wish...
Look, all right, I understand that this video it's good because, here she is, she's telling all these women, hey, before you go ahead and file for divorce, rethink it. Look at this. There's a woman here. She regrets it. It was the biggest mistake of her life. But look, if you have to spend tens of thousands of dollars in therapy and you have to read 50 plus books about divorce and what is attachment theory? I don't even know what that is. If you have to do all of that just to be a good wife, like what did women do when all of this stuff wasn't around? Well, they were just better wives, right? They probably were more inclined to submit. They probably weren't as aggressive. So I hear a woman like this say this, and I'm like, really? It took you all of that to be a good wife? Just submit. Hey, fix your marriage. Just be a little bit more submissive. Be a little bit more agreeable. Don't be so combative. Listen more. Be a little bit more obedient. I know it's crazy. The words I'm saying, how dare I say it? I'm such a misogynist. But that's the truth. Just be, hey, how about you just submit a little bit more and stop being so combative? Embrace your femininity. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, what did the women do before all of this was available to them? They're probably just behaved more like women. Like, I don't want to rag on her too much because, this is a good clip. She's bringing awareness. Hopefully a lot of women saw this clip when they thought about divorcing their husbands. But just like, that's a lot to do to just be a good wife. Like, it really doesn't take that much to make men happy. So that tells me that it's kind of a lot of your own personal issues, right? Let's keep going.
Somebody would have sent me a video like this before my divorce. Sarah's comment, I made this decision and regret it 100%. My ex was a great man. I just thought I'd be happier alone after 20 years of marriage, but I was miserable and my daughter was miserable. Biggest mistake ever. First of all, Sarah, thank you for your authentic transparency. It is refreshing, but also extremely sad. I'm sorry that you've gone through that. And here's what I want to say. No matter the path you take, whether it's staying in the relationship or going through the divorce, both situations take work. Staying in a relationship takes work to have a healthy marriage. And when you decide or whatever to pull the trigger on divorce, you're going to have an entire set of new things to work on going through your divorce. And then multiply that by 10 if you have children. So if you're watching this and you think your partner is about to leave you, or you're considering leaving your partner, you have to choose your hard, because both are hard. And relationships forever are going to take work. You might think that this relationship is too much work for you and then you move on to somebody else, but surprise, you're going to have to work in that relationship too. So if you haven't even been to therapy with your partner, if you've not picked up a self-help book or listened to podcasts, I'm telling you, before you make the jump to divorce, especially with children, start with that. Start with doing some work, because
Yeah, I mean, I like what she's saying, right? This is the part that the women don't ever hear. So this is good, and she's not really saying marriage is perfect, because of course it's not going to be perfect. She's not saying staying is necessarily easy, but she's admitting that leaving doesn't like magically fix everything and your life is infinitely better. A lot of these women convince themselves that when they leave and they initiate divorce, it's going to be a clean slate, and that once you leave, you'll just be able to find yourself and you'll be free, and it's just going to be incredible sunshine and rainbows, and it's going to be wonderful. But that's not how it works. And coming from the horse's mouth here, this is what women need to hear. There needs to be more of this. Like, and she's going to say, if you can't make it right with one person, what makes you think the next is going to be any different? So, of course, right, every relationship takes effort. Like, no shit. Pretty obvious. You're not escaping hard work by leaving. You're just trading one set of problems for another. Like, it's not necessarily going to be an easier life, a better life. It's going to be different. And here she is. She's living proof of that, obviously. And even though she is remarried and happy, she knows firsthand how much damage divorce causes.
When you go through a divorce, it is an entire, like, it takes work to leave somebody. It's not just you sign some papers. When kids are involved, it's not you just sign some papers and you move on. You then have to figure out how to co-parent with somebody that you believe is your enemy. You have to figure out how to pay all of your bills by yourself and be a solo parent. You're going to have to find a new community of friends because the old community that you were in no longer can relate to you. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people say before you divorce. I'm telling you, the dynamics change. You might have somebody who brings you to court every 6 months. We call them frequent filers. You're only going to see your kids half the time, most likely, which also means you're going to be sharing holidays. So you're going to spend some holidays probably alone without your children. You literally are going to miss out on half of your children's lives. Half. It is the most painful.
Well, not all women that get divorced will miss out on half. It's not true.
There are no words. So I'm just saying you have to choose your hard here. Both are extremely hard. It's hard. Even in my new relationship with my husband, it takes work. He and I have gone to, marriage conferences and read so many books together, and we have set time aside every single morning to have coffee and connect with each other. We are constantly sending each other podcasts and books, and because he's gone through divorce, I've gone through divorce, we have agreed we are never going to go through that pain again.
You know what I'm kind of curious is, did he get divorced? Like, did his ex-wife do what you did? Probably.
We also, some of that pain that comes with divorce is watching your children suffer, and we don't ever want our kids to experience anything remotely close to that ever again. Now, I have to say, this does not apply to all situations. There are some situations with abuse and things like that where, yes, you need to leave. I am not talking to those situations. I'm talking to the people who they just don't get along, or they don't like their spouse or whatever, and they're like, man, I could probably be happier somewhere else. One of the comments that was on this video, he said something about how it was the best decision for him, but the worst decision for his kids. And man, I was like, yes, I resonate with that.
No shit.
Because I can find happiness and peace and joy and all of that, but the children, it's devastating. So choose your hard. My recommendation, and take it or leave it, is to at least try the hard first before you break your family on purpose. Try going to counseling, try the books, try all of that, and send this to somebody if you're thinking about leaving your partner, because what they're telling you is, let's do this hard before we have to do that hard.
Now, look, it's a great piece of content. It's good. I frequently talk about how there's so much content out there encouraging women to initiate divorce, but it's nice to come across one like this. I mean, as few of them that there is, it's nice and refreshing when you come across at least one of them telling women, hey, at least try, at least try to keep things going and keep the glue together. But, I got to say, she says, choose your hard, right? That's what she was saying. But, if you really listen, she's not describing two equal choices, but that's how she painted it. But listen, because what she says about marriage is, she says, it takes work, you have to communicate, and you have to put in effort. But when she talks about divorce, you lose half your kids' lives. You're alone on holidays. You have to co-parent with someone you see as an enemy. You regret it for the rest of your life. You might have to deal with a frequent filer. Those aren't equal struggles, right? One of them is hard, and the other is, you could say, catastrophic. And then you've got this woman's comment here, who she's replying to, the woman who left a great husband after 20 years because she thought she would be happier. But instead, she was miserable. Her daughter was miserable, and she calls it the biggest mistake of her life. And that's the truth that so many of these modern women are not warned about. They get told, you deserve better, don't settle, you'll be happier alone, you go find yourself, you owe it to yourself, go on a journey of personal discovery and development, this type of shit. But what actually happens is they break their families apart thinking it'll fix all of their problems magically, only to realize that, it kind of makes everything worse. It kind of makes everything worse. So with this woman here, what exactly did she escape from in her first marriage? Like, think about it. If she had done all of this work in her first marriage, perhaps she wouldn't have needed a second one. And so maybe she regrets it. Maybe she doesn't, because now she's remarried and whatnot and has a child with him. But I think, if you listen to her, she probably is giving advice to people that she didn't have access to when she went through this. And, she says at the end, try the hard part first with the family, before you initiate divorce. And that, of course, is the real takeaway. Perhaps most of these women don't even necessarily try. Maybe they get bored, frustrated, or they just kind of abandon ship and think there's a happier life on the other side. The grass is greener. We hear about that a lot. That's probably what they think. So they don't even think to try. They don't even think about all the other horrendous things they're going to have to deal with when they file for divorce. Again, especially if they have children. And then reality eventually hits when it's too late, like it did with this Sarah woman. So, that's the thing. And I think this clip had a lot of views, which is good. And so that means a lot of women saw it, and there were a lot of women in the comments kind of saying like, yeah, I needed this and this and that. So that's good. That's good. And hopefully we will start seeing more content like this, because we see a lot of women actually filing for divorce. And so we're going to see a lot more women coming to the realization that they made a mistake.